Hi everyone. About this video, I'm going to talk about example of momentum conservation. And in the previous video, we have already uh, learned that if a system is isolated, that means there's no external force. There's no external force in your system, and your linear momentum always conserved. Okay, and so and even if the system contains some interaction, and you don't need to care, you don't need to really need to know what kind of interaction between them. The linear momentum always conserved. Okay, that's the beauty of linear conservation. You don't need have to know the interaction between them. Okay. Okay, this is another example for linear momentum conservation. The problem is that if there is a Li particle and then it's split into two. Okay, actually I should do more address, more statement on this problem. Initially you have Li particle and then you split it into one is called alpha and the other is called proton. Okay, the proton. And split into, and the initial velocity of the Li particle. What's the speed? No, it's not speed. It's a velocity. Its velocity is very huge. Its velocity is let's say its velocity 1.6 million meter per second. And then it's split into two particles. One is alpha particle, the other is called proton. And an alpha particle, its direction is 33 degrees with respect to the horizontal direction, and its velocity is 1.4 million meter per second. Okay. Okay, and he want to ask what's the velocity. The problem want to ask what's the velocity, okay, magnetic velocity and direction of the proton. Okay, very simple. Okay, it's a split problem. The Li maybe some certain action make them split into two. Okay, and we don't need to care about their interaction. Okay, and even if we don't know the interaction, we still can calculate the final velocity and direction of the proton. Okay, because in the whole system is isolated. There's no external interactions, so the system is isolated. And in such case, your linear momentum is always conserved. And this problem is a two-dimensional problem. And momentum, like I said, momentum is a vector. So we need to do the component by component, x component, do it again, and y component, do it again. Okay, so we set the coordinate. Let me see. Okay, the coordinate is set this like this. This is x direction, is y direction. Okay, so I forgot the last information is the mass of Li and to mass of alpha to mass the proton is 541. Okay, and then with this information we can start to calculate to find out the final velocity of proton and its direction. So momentum conservation. Okay, that's right here. Well, initial state. Initial state, we just have the Li, and then after some certain ingression, it's split into two different particles. So initial state, we don't have Li. And what's the x component? Its momentum is let's see. Yeah, we have the momentum is mass times velocity. I hope you remember that the momentum is mass times velocity. Simply speaking, is mass times velocity. Okay, so the mass of the, let's assume it's 5. Let's assume it's 5. And its velocity is 1.6 million. Okay. And the y direction, initial state direction, that should be, I should say we are doing the momentum. Okay, in the y direction, do we have any momentum or momentum in the y direction at the initial state? No, because we only have an x component. There is no y component, so it's 0. Okay, then we'll finish the initial state. Okay, let's do the same analysis, the final state again, and I should make a comment that we are doing the momentum calculation. On the final state, what's the x direction? In final state, we only have the 2 particle only, alpha particle and proton, and there is no Li particle anymore. Okay, because if after some certain equation it's become 2 particles. Okay, and the x component, let's see, alpha have x component of velocity, so it has x component of momentum. So, and let's assume the mass of alpha is 4 times its velocity is 1.4 m, and this is only 1.4. We want its x component. X component you need to times cosine 33 degree. Okay. So and it's split into proton. Okay, I believe proton should be the motion of proton should be like this. The motion of proton should be like this. Okay, this is a proton. This is V proton. And the theta is here. Okay, I assume the angle here is called theta. And the proton goes through this way. It also has x component here. So, and because I don't know the velocity of the proton, so I just assume it's Vp. Okay, and it's also x component here, so it's Vp times cosine theta. Cosine theta, I don't know, so I just assume this is theta. Just leave there. Okay, so it's the x component, momentum x component of final state. And what about the y component? Sorry. Okay, let's write down the y component. The final state, we only have these 2 particles. Final state, the y components. Well, let's see. Alpha particle, we have alpha particle 4. Shit, I forgot this. I forgot it should be times the mass of proton, and it's 1. Sorry. And okay, times it's 1.4 million. Its y component is should be sine theta. Okay, if you don't understand, let me decompose this vector. And this is 33 degree. And so y component is 1.4 million times sine 33 degree. And also the proton has y component contribution. Let me see. It's Vp times sine theta. And its mass is 1. So I should get its mass is 1. 1.4. Okay, so we are almost done. And here you have to be very careful, because based on this graph, the y component, the y component. The y component of the y component of momentum of proton is negative. Okay, it's negative. Okay, because we set the x is here, coordinate y is here, y is here. So it's below x axis. So this is negative. Okay, just be very careful. And so we list all the equation, and then we can have, because this system is isolated, so your initial state momentum x direction equal to final state momentum x direction, and your initial state y component equal to final state y component. So let's match this up. Let me change the color. Okay, this is black. So we x match x. So we have 1 times 1 million equal to 4 times 1.4 million cosine 33 degree plus VP cosine theta. Okay. So let's erase this out. It's the first equation. Second equation is y component is 0 equal to 4 times 1.4 m sine 33 degree minus, be careful, minus p sine theta. So from these two equations, what do we get? I have no space. Oh, where should I erase? I have no space. I have no space. Okay, let's erase this part. Sorry. Okay, finally we got we got the VP cosine theta equal to, okay, calculator. Don't forget your calculator. Forgot my calculator. Sorry. Calculator. Okay, calculator. Let me see. 1.6 by 1.4 times 4 times cosine 33. Okay, it's 3.30, and its unit is mega. Okay, maybe I forgot the. Oh, not sorry. It's million or mega. It's mega. Maybe it's called mega. Okay. It's mega. Okay, maybe I call it. I always spell this wrong. Yeah, I think it's called mega. Big M is mega or million. Okay, we'll talk about this later. Okay, and the other equation I will get VP sine theta is equal to 4 times 1.4 and sine 33 degree. So it's 3.05. It's 3.05, and the unit it's make out million. Let me check. Sorry, man. You fix right. It's really a mega. Okay, I call it. I always call this. I always pronounce this wrong. Okay, it's mega. Okay, your VP cosine theta is 3.30 mega. Your VP sine theta is 3.05 mega. So I just tell you. Let's tell you this. Let's tell you if this is a VP, your cosine theta is 3.3 mega, and y component is oh yeah, it's minus. I forgot. It should be a minus. Be careful. It's minus 3.05 mega. Okay. So your tangent theta is 3.3, 3.05. So if you use your engineering calculator, the theta should be 42.75 degree, right? Yeah, 1.7 degree. So 42.75 degree. And what's the magnitude? What's the magnitude? Okay, let's write down its magnitude. The magnitude is simple, right? The magnitude of vector, remember that? The magnitude is square root of 3.3 square plus 3.05. It should be minus. Yeah, but it's square, it will cancel out. So, but we still keep it. Okay, so it's about 4.49. 4.49. And it's mega. Okay, it's mega. It's mega. Okay, so it's not medium, it's called mega. Sorry. So after all, the proton, its velocity is 4.49 mega meter per second, and its angle is 42.75 degree with respect to x direction, and it's let's call it it's clockwise 42.75 degree clockwise. Okay, so this is a very simple example for the momentum conservation, and it's two-dimensional problem. So we have to do x component, momentum conservation on x component again, momentum conservation in x direction and momentum conservation in y direction. Okay, you have to do both twice. Okay. Okay, so this is an example of momentum conservation. I will stop the video here. So see you in the next video. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.